Guys, so I want to talk to you about shoulder health. Now, what we're focusing on this really is people that struggle with a press, maybe because it could be like a tightness within the shoulder, pulling forward of the shoulders, but basically people that just get an aggravation in the shoulder when they're pressing. So try and think of using all the other muscle groups as opposed to just the press. Now, these exercises are really good for sort of getting the posterior chain working and to get your shoulder in the right position. So the more often you do them, like try and think low weights with them, but the more often you do them, the more you're going to get the muscles to work in that position, and then in theory you'll have healthier shoulders. So things you want to think about is, first of all, like you can break down the sort of like lat raise. So lower sort of phase of the lat raise first, just to see if the shoulder's obviously got no pain in this position. Once you've then done that, you can obviously go up in heavier weights with this. But then you're going to do the top phase of it. So you're breaking it down into two different stages. So typically, if you do that as a set, you want to go quite heavy with the bottom, and then you go lighter with the top phase. As you're doing this, really focus on bringing your chest back so that you're in this position throughout the whole range of movement. Try not to do anything sort of front loaded, because potentially that's probably going to be the issue. Everything else we're going to then is focus on the back. So as a pull up or a lat pull down, so try and think of it as hitting your lats. So as you're doing this, you're opening out your chest and you're squeezing the lats into the bottom. So pull downs obviously is a great thing to start on. Another really good one is, I'm not going to call these anything because I think they've got different names, but this is something that is a very good movement to do if you've mastered it. So try and really look at what I'm doing here. So first things first, relax your chest, and then you're going to point your chest up slightly. As you point your chest up and your rhomboids pull them in, so you're going to squeeze up first of all, keeping your arms straight. You're then going to bring your elbows up as much as you possibly can, so that you get all the posterior chain working. You're then going to come up as high as possible. You're then going to go for a press, and then you're going to reverse it. So if you look at the movement, it's nice controlled. That's one rep. So squeeze, elbows up, hands up, and then push. Now mobility wise, obviously, if you struggle with mobility here and you can't quite get this rotating up, and that indicates that you've got quite a weak posterior chain. So you need to be working on getting that up as high as you can, and then going into the press. Okay, so with that, say for example, do 6 reps. You find it tough, but then obviously you can build up as you go through. Another one that you can then do is on the floor. Now, you might find this tough to do with weights, so I'll show you without and then you can add them in. But again, same position with your chest. You want to bring your hands off the floor. You're then going to just reach forward, and then you're going to go all the way out as wide as you can, really squeezing your posterior chain. And then you're going to bring your hands under, reach up. And then, if I'm honest, like there's no exact way to do this. It's just doing different movements whilst keeping the posterior chain tense. So you can go out, you can do a Y, a T, and then you come all the way around, rotate round, back, forward. Okay, so again, there's no exact way to do that. It's just making sure that your posterior chain, like already I can feel that pumped and working. So in that position, try and think of, we're trying to hit the back as opposed to the front. So if you've got that rounding of the shoulders, in this position here, the more you work the back, then your body will stay in this position and your shoulders will be a lot healthier in that position there.